Hey everybody, my name's Dychronic, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Zerd and everything he's got. You can find him in his regular spot in the hangar in the tower, so just make your way over to the hangar in the top left section. You can find him right here next to, you guessed it, the precipice. Ooh, there's a little light over here. This is a high overview in case this is all you cared about. First up for the weapon today, we have the Prospector, which I believe technically has the highest DPS of any weapon in the game. Probably not something you thought you would hear today if you didn't know that. But yeah, it has really high DPS. The problem is that its total ammo damage is so low it just doesn't matter. The idea here, first of all, it fires the fastest of any grenade launcher in the game. It also has full auto, which makes it even faster than that, and it also explodes and creates fire whenever it sticks to a target, then explodes and does some stuff. The problem is, again, the amount of DPS you have doesn't matter when you don't do enough damage. The one thing that I still use the Prospector to this day with is actually going to be launching rally flags. If you don't know, if you kill yourself right as you place down a rally flag, the flag actually starts to flip through the air with your body. Now, if you put down, let's say, 8 grenades by holding the trigger down and releasing right at the right moment, you can get that flag into the stratosphere, and it's a lot of fun to watch people try to find it. So if you don't have one, that's a good reason to pick one of these up. Following that, for the Hunter exotic, we have the Lucky Raspberry, which is an exotic armor that's actually not that bad. I believe it's been in my top 10 for quite some time. I think it might have just recently exited. If you've never heard of it, it increases the chaining capabilities of Arc Bolt Grenade, which means it chains farther and one more time, and has a chance to recharge each time it deals damage. I think it's 25% for each chain, up to 4 chains, which is a full 100%. And again, this is just a chance to fully recharge it, not just giving you a percentage back. And when it comes to PvP, Arc Bolt is a nice grenade to have, and Arc is becoming a little bit better as, well, Shadow Dive is still strong, but as stasis stuff do start to wear off a little bit. So it's a decent exotic, and the roll actually looks pretty good as well. For hunters, and this one, you want to have more discipline and mobility, and this is one of those rare times where having discipline actually really does matter, because it's all or none with this particular exotic, and everything else is kind of flat across the board, which is not bad. Total stat 64 is not bad, so decent roll for an okay exotic. Following that, an exotic that probably gives most of us PTSD, Titans included, to be honest with you, the One-Eyed Mask. If you don't have one of these, it's just an excellent exotic to have no matter what you're doing, I think, for PvE and PvP, but in PvP, it's one of the best that you can do with Titans. If you haven't heard of it, it highlights targets who dare to damage you, and this just gives you a red silhouette when you can see the target, not through walls, and track down the target and destroy them for an overshield, which are both really nice, and the cooldown to Vengeance is actually decent these days because they obviously remove the ability to see enemies through wall. When it comes to the total stats, it's actually quite low at 60 and a very flat distribution, nothing really amazing there. I personally like to see a lot more recovery and mobility on my Titans, so it's okay, but you could definitely do better. And there is an ornament, which I don't have. Can somebody tell me why sometimes the ornament shows up for me to preview when I don't have it, and sometimes it doesn't? Because I know there's an ornament. Yeah, like with the Prospector. Right now, look, I can preview the one I don't have, and why can't I do that with the One-Eyed Mask? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, that's quite a distribution. Up next, we have the Stag, which is actually a very good Warlock exotic. For a second there, I was thinking of previously, but they did buff it, I believe, this season, and made it a lot better. Your rifts provide additional damage resistance, which is like 10% to ally guardians standing in it. That's yourself and anyone else. And you get rift energy whenever you're critically wounded, and on your death, you create a healing rift on your corpse. So lots of opportunities to have rifts for healing, for empowering, and you get damage resistance in them. You combine that with the little arc buddies on your shoulder and some meta weapons, and you follow my build guide that I made a few months ago, and you got yourself a very powerful trials and regular PvP option. When it comes to the stats, goddamn, recovery definitely amazing, especially for Warlock and especially for this particular exotic. Low mobility is decent, although you're not going to be running solar, so it doesn't really matter. I personally like mobility. And a high strength. Again, you're going to be doing arc stuff, so strength isn't the biggest thing in the world. I would have liked to see more intellect because the landfall is pretty damn nice. But the total stats is 64, and this huge distribution spike is a pretty decent option. So if you don't have a good one, this is pretty good. Following that, let's take a look at the legendary weapons. First up, we have Escape Velocity and 900 RPM lightweight frame, because there's 2 different kinds of 900 RPMs. These 2 perks are really not that great. The rest of it is okay. After that, we have Last Perdition. Firmly Planted Zen Moment is not bad, but I believe you can actually get Kill Clip here, and I would vastly prefer that. The rest of it, again, is pretty damn good as well. Whispering Slab, Archer's Tempo, Sympathetic Arsenal. Not a bad combo, although I believe they updated the Sympathetic Arsenal to not be as good as it was before. Otherwise, pretty damn good roll. Not the best possible roll, but more accuracy is always nice to see, especially on the lightweights. Following that, Time Timeless Vertex, Light from Gold backup plan. Not a bad combo for PvE. Has some range stuff on here as well. I would decently recommend that, but not the best. We have the Hollow Words, Slideways Unrelenting. Okay, maybe more of a PvP kind of thing, but not that great. Honor's Edge, not really what you want. And finally, the Scholar, which, that's a Trials weapon. Hold on a second, that's just a straight up Trials weapon. Slideways and no distractions. Decent combo, but definitely, again, could do better. Oh, dude, higher handling on this kind of weapon would be really nice with Slideways. This actually might be a really good role for this, although I personally don't like 150 scout rifles. And following that, let's take a look at the Hunter armor. Again, if you're on a different class, you'll see different armors. For the Hunter ones, wow, that's a very disciplined and mobile armor piece. If you want something like this, it's okay. 48 total stats is very low, not really what you're looking for. 59, a little low, but high recovery, so it's decent. And then this one, 61, which is okay. Would like to see a bit more recovery, but it depends on your stats. For the most part, this is going to be your best bet. And of course, make sure you pick up your exotic engram. If you have legendary shards to spare, I would highly recommend it. It always drops as something you've never received before, or it drops with a very high stat roll. 67 is pretty damn high. This exotic, pretty damn worthless though. Or at least, you know, it's become less and less useful. I think Quiz Invest is something I got from the Xur randomly way back in the day, and I've just been holding on to it. And of course, you guys know how it goes. Usually I do live stream right after these videos. This week I'm going to be taking off from live streaming as I'm going out for the winter holidays. But I'll have some videos coming up as we go along. I'll only be missing the reset video, but the rest should keep going. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Truly, again, without their help, a lot of this stuff would really not be possible. So big thank you to Mom and Dad, Christian Thompson, Dr. Strange, Caliana, Mondays to Bachman, Serena, Shoni, and Panther, Casey Reagan for their support on Patreon. And that's it. Hope you guys did enjoy my name is Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.